Hi everybody, it's Bren from Kindred Acres, and we are here live with one of my favorite elders, and he happens to be my dad.
Hi, Bren.
So my dad, we call him the Machete Master, and he grew up in Puerto Rico, and he grew up wielding a machete. And so he is wicked awesome at sharpening machetes. I mean, so sharp you can cut paper with it. Machetes and knives and all kinds of tools. So I brought him today. I came to visit, and I brought him all of my knives that need sharpening and my machete. And he's going to show us how to sharpen the machete, but he's also going to talk a little bit about his time in Puerto Rico. So I used to love hearing stories about how he grew up there, and he used to run around in the jungle. And tell us a little bit about the jungle.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was
Hold on, it's really loud, so I'm gonna get a little bit closer here. Okay, go ahead.
When I was a kid, I was going out of my house about 10 o'clock, and I go to the mountains over there, going to get avocados, pineapples, oranges, everything.
So you used to find all that wild in...
And then I used to come home late, about 2 o'clock. One time my mother got mad and she beat me up.
Oh no. So he used to go out just walking around the jungle of Puerto Rico, and he would find wild food. And so he would always find avocados and what else did you say? What kind of food?
Pineapple, oranges.
Pineapples and oranges.
Like Chinese grapefruit, Chinese apples.
Chinese apples. I'm not sure what that is here,
I know,
but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So,
things.
And he
another kind of fruit that I didn't see over here. I don't know what they call it. Anything.
and so that's the kind of foods he used to go and pick wild in the jungles, and he would lemons. Gosh, I wish I had a jungle that grew all that stuff. And he would carry his machete around with him everywhere he went. And so he just really became very knowledgeable about using the machete and sharpening it. And then he went on to work on a sugarcane farm.
No, I was in the garden with a lady.
Oh, yeah. First, before the sugarcane farm, he worked at a mansion in Puerto Rico. They called it the Italian Mansion. What is the true name of the mansion?
They call it the castle.
It's called the Castle. And
it was a lady from Italian descent, but she speaks Spanish perfect.
So it was a lady from Italian descent, and she spoke perfect Spanish, and they owned this mansion in Puerto Rico, and he tended to the grounds in their gardens. And
she owned a farm about 400 or 500 acres.
And she owned how many acres?
500.
500 acres.
And then she had pineapples farm.
And they grew pineapples and sugar canes.
She got all kind of fruits.
And all kinds of fruits. And so he would tend the grounds and help grow the food. And
when I went to high school, and in vacation time, I used to work with her for her in the garden.
So when he was in high school and he was on vacation, he would work in her garden for her. And
then that's it. Then after I graduated high school, I worked for the government of Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the sugarcane fields. What was that like?
The sugar cane, they fix the ground, they plant the pieces of sugars, and in less than a month they grow up about 12 inches tall.
Wow, in just a month, 12 inches.
And then they go with a machine, clean the grass, everything inside, and then they grow crazy.
And did they leave all the scraps there to decompose, or did they take it away?
No, that's a clean. This is clean plants.
Yeah.
And then when they cut it, they got people cutting over there with a machete. They got the thing, and they cut the end, cut into pieces, dump it over there. The machine coming over there and pick it up the sugar cane, put it in a tractor. And the tractor, they bring it to the cane, and they fill it up, the big truck. And the truck take it to the...
And they juice it, or?
A place where they make sugar.
Yeah, that's where they made the sugar. So that's cool.
They made the sugar, and they made the malasa for the people use it to distill rum.
For rum?
Planted thing rum.
Oh, Wow, that's awesome. That I did not know. See, I'm so glad I'm interviewing him because I actually didn't know that part. So they used the sugar to make rum.
No, the sugar, the molasses.
The molasses,
From
yeah.
The sugar. They got the
From the
sugar.
sugar.
First and then
Sugar first, then they turned it to molasses, and then they used the molasses
they
to
use
make
it,
rum.
It's like a heavy honey.
Okay, it's like a honey.
Black.
Yeah, awesome. And so you are pretty much never without a machete. Growing up in our house, my dad had machetes everywhere. And yeah, the funny thing is that everybody in town knew it because every time the boys would come to the house to visit all his girls, because we grew up with all the sisters. I had 5 sisters, and so or 5 girls, I should say. We were in the house, and so my dad would always answer the door, and there was the boys shaking in their boots because they were terrified because they knew that the Torres girls were well protected. So needless to say, my dad is very good with the machete, and so mine is in complete disarray, and it looks awful, and I use it a lot. In fact, I just used it yesterday to cut, guess what, none other than sugarcane. And I'm rooting up a bunch of sugarcane. And so I was using this to cut the sugarcane in pieces, and it really was not very sharp. So I brought it for my dad to sharpen. And he's going to show us how the best way to sharpen your machete so sharp that you can cut paper with it. Like, he's amazing at sharpening these. So what do you have there? What kind of tool are you using?
File.
A file. So can I see?
It's really thin file.
It's just a thin file, and you can get that at any hardware store. Any hardware store. And so can you jump in and take over for this for a minute? Okay, so now are you going, so is there any specific direction you need to go or angle?
You go up and down and take about 1/4 inches of from the edge with the file, taking off and up until they get soft, thin.
So 1/4 inch from the edge at an angle, and you're just going to keep going off and back and forth until it gets thin.
They get sharp.
And it gets sharp that way. And how long does it take to do something like that?
I think a new one will take about an hour and a half.
So for a new one, when it hasn't been sharpened yet, it takes about an hour and a half. How bad is mine?
This one don't take long, about 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes. Is it really bad?
It's not that bad.
It's not too bad?
The file is bad.
Oh, the file's bad. So I didn't wait too long for to bring it here. He sharpened it for me not too long ago, but I use it, so I guess it dulled out on me. And then you do both sides, or do you do just one side?
Both.
You do both sides. You see how shiny it's getting? And then to clean all that rust off, what is the best way to clean that? And,
yeah, that's all. Doesn't matter. That's gonna stay over there anyway.
yeah. So you can put some oil, like tongue oil or something on it.
No, you don't have to.
So he's gonna continue sharpening this machete. And of course I brought some of my other tools that you can you use that file to sharpen this too?
Yeah.
So I've got my little nippers, and he can sharpen these with the file too. And I brought some of my kitchen knives for him to sharpen. So if anybody has any questions that you'd like to ask him, he would love to share. He loves to talk about his time in Puerto Rico and the sugarcane farms and how he used to run through the jungles wielding a machete. It's very sharp already. That was quick. Hi, Colleen. Yeah, that's very good. Well, okay, so we're going to let everybody go. I'm going to let him finish sharpening all of my tools. Thank you for checking us out and for allowing him the space to talk about his adventures growing up in Puerto Rico, and he loves to talk about it. So it's wonderful that I was able to use this platform to share his experience. and for him to show you guys how to sharpen a machete, because, you know, I always bring it to him, but I never actually sat and watched him sharpen it. So maybe now I can start doing it myself.
I didn't work in the jungle in Puerto Rico too much. Only when I get in the summertime, when I finished, when I was in high school, that's it.
So
2 months summertime vacation.
yeah, so he's saying that he basically was there until high school, and then he...
Then I graduated high school. I worked for the labor department in Puerto Rico.
He, when he graduated high school, he worked for the labor department.
When I was working with the labor department, they called me from the service. We had to serve the United States Air Forces.
The Air Force, yeah. And then he went into the service, the military. And
I was over there, and then
he got drafted in.
I would stay away there for 4 months, and my father says, I had to get a discharge.
So then he...
My mother had nobody in the house, only me.
Yeah, so he got discharged from the Army, and he went back to Puerto Rico. And then eventually he made his way to the States, where he met my mama, and they fell in love. And the story about them meeting was hilarious too, because my dad's so used to, again, being in the jungle of Puerto Rico, and he got caught going on a walk with my mom in the woods by my grandpa, and he had to scale up a tree. And I remember my mom saying that he scaled up the tree so fast, like he was a monkey just scooting up the tree to hide from my grandpa. But eventually it was accepted. They got married, and then, yeah. So that's my dad's experience. I'm happy that you got to share that, Daddy.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharpening my machete and showing us how to do it. Perfect. It's beautiful. Nice and sharp. I'm ready to go cut more sugar cane. Yes, I'm telling your secrets. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for checking us out. With lots of love from Kindred Acres. Bye.